Hi everyone, my name is Kiran. Today we are going to discuss, I'm going to give some tips regarding SAP migration related. Like when it's a migrating from on-prem to Azure platform, especially like we need to take some consideration. Why? Because of SAP we can't migrate using lift and shift like Azure migrate or that way it's not possible, guys. And due to that, what we have to perform it means we need to totally greenfield build. That means again build the totally that virtual machine high availability purpose. It's a clustering. If it is a Linux means pacemaker cluster, Azure Fence agent using that. If it is a Windows means Windows failover cluster, and depends on requirement, we're going to do it. Some of the general mistakes will happen. This is like SAP and who are working on SAP application, and they will provide their knowledge wise. They will provide some of the details, and from as a Azure administrator or Azure architect level, we need to take some considerations. So those details we need to get it from SAP team. And before going to do that one also, we need to verify from our end also. We need to verify from Azure portal and also. What are the few points we are going to understand here? First of all, so when deploying the virtual machine, first of all, when deploying the virtual machine, and it's a few mistakes generally made it. Few mistakes generally everyone made it in the SAP migration wise, especially generally virtual machine. If they ask, simply we can go and selected that VM size or like kind of image, especially image related. It's a more mistakes will happen. Why? Because of you can see here, guys, especially SAP team, they will ask us to create a SUSE Linux so and so 15 or 12 version SP4 or SP5 like that they will mention, guys, simply. But if I'm going to simply here SUSE Enterprise Linux so and so, like I can select it, but this specific VM image it won't support it, guys. It won't support it. So what should we do in this scenario? Click on see all images, and especially here SUSE. If you type, if they are asking about SUSE or Ubuntu or Red Hat Linux, accordingly you can type that particular VM related is a name. And after that you can see here, especially I will show you what is the mention. Here you can see BYOS, I will tell you that is a one also. SUSE Enterprise Linux for SAP 12 SP5, especially this image for SAP application. So if you are not build for SAP 12 or SP5, this is a one. And what will happen? And we can't furtherly we can't build the SAP application purpose. This server it won't support it. This server it won't support it, especially when we are going to deploy the specific image they provided, and we need to look into that for SAP that particular supporting or not. That is the first point. And second point, BYOS and some places is a 24/7. What exactly this is a one? Bring your own subscription. That means you are already taken the license from the SUSE enterprise, and that particularly integrate with the subscription. That is a called bring your own subscription. So if you have, you can select that particular subscription. On that particular subscription only you can deploy this virtual machine. But your company is a following or your client is a following, instead of bring your own subscription, it's a pay as you go wise, you're ready to pay and they don't want bring your own subscription, we must and should select the 24/7 support, so that it's a pay as you go wise, it's a charges is applicable, and it's not required bring your own subscription wise. Especially when is the face this problem is after deploying the virtual machine hand over to the SAP team, they will try to log in and do something, and it will show you license is required. License is required. So such way we'll get it again, needs to be rebuilt, again needs to be rebuilt. That's the reason I'm saying that. So BYOS or 24/7, especially we need to understand, and SAP is a mention or not, we have to look into that. SAP is a mention or not, we have to look into that. These 2 points very very important, guys. Okay. And other than that, one more tip, VM size, especially VM size, SAP application, HANA database and other applications will use it M series or E series or kind of mostly will use it this VM sizes. This VM sizes wise, that particular subscription, definitely it's a different clients or company, they will maintain the different subscription, and even one subscription also you can look into that, that particular subscription quota. So it's where we can check it. So if you go to the subscription and that particular subscription and go to the uses and quotas, and this place you need to look into that, that particular M series quota is available or not, that particular E series that quota is available or not, or particular D series that quota is available or not. We have to look into that, guys. You can see here, suppose is a mention is a standard EV3 something like it's there and 20 vCPU only, but if it is a more than, if you are trying to deploy it and it won't allow it, some specific VM sizes you can see 0 is also is available, 0 out of 0 also. So that's the reason before we are going to deploy it, we have to look into that. If you are trying to deploy still and will get the thing and the quota is not available, we can't deploy the virtual machine. Definitely will get the error message, guys. Definitely will get the error message. What should we do? So here, edit, the request is needs to be raise it with the Microsoft. They will allocate the quota for us. Accordingly, we need to do it. So when you are raising the request, before only you need to gather the total information. How many CPU in this particular series is required? How many CPU in this series you require? And that particular all the count you can take it at a time. You can provide the total count, that new limit. Suppose 100, 200, or 350 or 300 like that. You can mention and submit it. So really that quota is available from Microsoft and they will allocate it within the 24 hours. You will get it, that quota. Otherwise, might be it will take some time also. Otherwise, it will take some time also. So in this scenario, generally what we'll do means some basic image, basic VM size using that deploy it and run it some of the things, and later on we can increase the VM size. We can increase the VM size. So there is no other option. Especially I see in my real time scenario, M series is not available. Due to that, we go with the E series and deploy it, and they configure the everything. After that, once receive the quota and we increase the once we receive the quota and VM size, increase it, that VM size increase to the M series. So that way we can do it also. That is a workaround. Okay, it's not straightforward, it's a workaround wise we can do it, guys. Some scenarios. So this is a one more tip everyone should aware of. This is a one. So before that, this CPU is a count is available or not, that limit is available or not, and VM image, that particular image, which image we are selecting, that is also very important. And third point, especially this is a one like already I discussed, but again I'm mentioned here some video I mentioned about that point, but again I'm going to clear about this one. So what exactly that is a one means here, what I'm saying, um, like VMs, it's a high availability purpose. Like SAP servers, it's a deploying HANA database purpose. So what happened? HANA database is a very critical server and required the high availability. So for high availability purpose, two virtual machines will deploy it. Two virtual machines will deploy it. The two virtual machine high availability purpose, if it is a Linux servers, definitely HANA database, Linux, SUSE Linux generally will use it most of the time. And for that, we should create a load balancer. Because of it's a virtual IP, it's won't supported in Azure platform. And for that virtual IP, we required through load balancer, through load balancer. That is also Microsoft recommended is a standard load balancer. If you go with the basic also, we can go, but best recommended is a standard load balancer. Okay, well and good. When you attach the load balancer, backend this two virtual machine won't get the internet. Won't get the internet, guys. So it's generally most of the time in all organization will use the hub and spoke topology. In the hub network firewall is available. This particular this VM, which subnet, that subnet range you need to allow it. to like internet access, allow the this entire subnet from firewall, so that these two virtual machine will get the internet access. These two virtual machine will get the internet access, guys. This is a one more tip. Generally, most of the time we'll face the issue why we are not getting, what is a like we need to perform it, which method is a better, and a lot of documentation will verify it. So my solution is this is the one, guys. If you are using hub and spoke, and in the hub network you are using firewall, yes, you can go with. Most of the time we'll use it. This is a one only. So generally, most of the time, if it is a virtual WAN, also if you are using secure hub network only, will use it. Even on that also, firewall should be there. So you should allow it through firewall. You can create a network rule, and you can allow the that particular or application rule. You can allow it that way. Internet access, we can allow it to the this particular subnet level. And why can't give the these two virtual machine IP address? Already I tested, guys, it won't work. And we should provide the entire subnet range. Entire subnet range we should provide it, so that it will allow the internet. Otherwise it won't. We won't get the internet access, that two virtual machine. This is a one more tip, guys. Okay, and coming to and few details we required. It's a when we are deploying the standard load balancer and health probe, it's a very important. When is a creating high availability purpose, that health probe port number is a required. Health probe port number is a required, guys. That port number you need to get it from here, like SAP team. From SAP team you need to get it. That port number also very important, you need to get it from the SAP team. These are few details, guys. And one more thing, one more point I can say, if you are going to use the Azure fence agent like SUSE Linux, using that you are doing the facemaker cluster. And especially fence agent, if you are doing fence agent you are doing, so for that require the service principal. How we can get it the service principal? You need to request with the your AD team, Azure Active Directory team, and they will create a new app registration, and they will provide the service principal name. That means that application name what they provided, and that secret value. That means object ID secret value is a required. So using that, we can do complete the things. So whenever you are going to fence agent using the facemaker cluster, yes, service principal, it's a very important, very important, guys. Again, that service principal require the privileges. Some custom role, it's a required. That custom role, it needs to be satisfied. Otherwise, again, it won't work. That is also very important. These 2 points also, somebody when going to implement it at that time, okay, we stuck here and it takes some time. That's the reason, for healthy move and meet the time, meet the times, deploy the and configure the things, and better as a starting only requested the AD team and get the service principal and get the privileges of that service principal also is a important. This point also very important, guys. Okay, and coming to any other thing I look into that, nothing, guys. Hopefully these are the points uh, I remember, and these all points is a like very helpful when you are doing the Azure like SAP migration from on-premises to Azure platform. These are the things very important, guys. And one more point, guys, especially uh, Windows failover cluster. If you are doing Windows failover cluster, if you are doing, and like shared disk is a required. That is a generally Microsoft recommended shared disk. Azure managed disk is a shared disk is available, or otherwise go with the Azure file share, SMB file share. But if you are going to choose the SMB file share, one is a problem. That is a con is available. What is that one? So Azure file share must and should be integrated with the on-premises Active Directory. On-premises Active Directory means Windows Server Active Directory. Integrate with the Windows Server Active Directory, and it's going to create a as a computer objective or user objective. So that is a problem, guys, security wise, because of all companies is a raise the implement the policy rotation, or 90 days after that needs to be update or reset our password. So that way we'll get the problem. Even Microsoft recommended to use the shared disk, but they mention in the portal and two methods we can use it, but never is a mention recommended. But my experience say, I'm saying that, guys, please better is to go with the shared disk. Azure managed shared disk you can go with, so that we can minimize the issues. That is a one more point, guys. It's a very helpful when you are going to implement the SAP clusters. Especially shared disk is a very important instead of Azure file share, Windows failure cluster purpose. Okay, so these are the point, guys. And one more thing, especially you need to get the right VM sizes as well as VM images. It's a very important, guys. That's it, guys, from my end. These are the tips. Hopefully it's everyone helpful, and if you like this video, please subscribe and like it and give the comments, guys. Thank you for this given the opportunity to me. Thank you.